The China Horse Club is widely recognised around the world for its distinctive red and gold star colours and its investments in Group 1 winners from Kentucky Derbies to Golden Slippers. I caught up with the man behind China Horse Club, Teo Ah King, to hear about their plans for the future at the recent Inglis Easter Yearling sale.
But it is a complete runaway for Improbable.
Teo Ah King, it's fabulous to sit down with you and have a chat about all things China Horse Club. Welcome back to Sydney, and you've been here for some time now.
Well, thank you, Caroline. And yes, 2013 is to be precise how we started the China Horse Club venture in Australia and New Zealand particularly.
You've developed so much. You now have a farm, the Chase, down in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales. But, you know, overall, the whole of China Horse Club is, you know, from racehorses, you've won the Golden Slipper with Stay Inside this year, the stallions are flying, you have the first of your sire, Russian Revolution, those yearlings being sold this year. Has it grown, you know, more than you thought it would in such a short time?
To be honest, the philosophy of China Horse Club, I think we continue to focus on a couple areas. Breeding wasn't the initial ideas, but it evolved, as you can see, and based on the winners that we have purchased from the yearlings. Russian Revolution is one example. But I think we also pride ourselves being into networking in businesses, bringing members around the world, racing first and foremost, and later on get them to be interested in overall horse industries, and later on buying broodmare to support the stallions. So all in, yeah, I think for the last 6-7 years, we have been actively supporting a lot of upstart, bright stars, and the result now is a medium term, and it shows in the light of Extreme Choice, Flying RT, and we hope that the Russian Revolution will step into the shoes sooner than later.
Tell us about the membership. How does it work now? Because I mean, you know, you've had so much success. It's a great promotion for the brand China Horse Club. But what is the interest in China, and what do they get from being a member?
Well, it had to go back to the original idea of we realized the time when we were in Dubai, and we noticed a lot of Asians slowly increasing the numbers to the Dubai World Cup year after year. As you know, when we finished and completed the Maidan Racecourse in the year 2019, there were only a couple of hundred actively participating the Asians in the racing industries. That include Vietnamese, the Thai, you know, so on and so forth. But over the years, the idea started to sort of concretize, and we thought if we have a club that will harness all this interest together, and then we started racing in China, as you know, in 2013, and then followed up by in Singapore, we call it CCF. The idea is very similar to present day's Everest. So member buying horses, each one has a slot and race competitively all around the world. So that momentum continue, and we have 6 CCF in China, and now 2 years ago, before the COVID, we have it in St. Lucia, which is also an ideal sort of a holiday island and settled between China and USA. So that kind of for other business reason. Oh no, I think the members are happy, and a lot of them stay in and increase their investment portfolio with us.
And First Seal's going to be much too good, wins it by 3. Winks is second.
Take us back to the early days here in Australia, because you did wind up, you know, making some good contacts early on that helped you, particularly, you know, when it comes to your first Group 1 winner, First Seal.
Well, I'm thankful for you raising this episode here. When we first started, the person that actively and endorsing our concept was the late Datuk Tan Chin Nam, as a Malaysian, as you can appreciate. And he then introduced me to Duncan, and Duncan then introduced also, brought in the great legend, the late Buck Cummings. So we decided we get enough budget 1 year. It wasn't big, it was about 400 over 1,000 to go to New Zealand to get some horses. And lo and behold, there was a bigger shock of my life. We bust the budget, but managed to get a horse we want. It was over three-quarter of a million New Zealand dollars. And this horse then turned out to be first sale. That's how we started. And it was early on in the acquisition, even though the members soon forgive me for
Going so
busting
far
the
over
budget. But that also established a trend.
Yes.
And later on, we ventured into Europe, and we got our first horse, stallion, Australia.
Yes.
And then a couple of years later, we have a horse called Justify. And now we are happily involved in Stay Inside. So basically that complete in 7 years our stallion trilogy.
Yeah.
We have Epsom Derby,
Yes.
we have Kentucky Derby,
Yes.
and now we have the most race that people coveted for.
Yes.
That is the Golden Slipper.
Yes.
So I'm happy to say that we so far the members are giving a thumbs up.
You now are in these great bidding duels yourself with Newgate Farm as well when you're buying some of these yearlings or yourselves when you're buying fillies. I guess there's still always a budget though, isn't there? There has to be an upper limit.
Oh yes, generally speaking there is, but more often than not, sometimes you really like something and the kind of hobby kicks in and push the discipline aside. We can forgive some of the shortcomings of X-rays or scope, but I think Justify is a perfect example of that story. That finally we got him, even though he didn't race as a 2-year-old, but he came in as a champion and as a 3-year-old and continued within 112 days become the Triple Crown. Yeah.
And when you see a horse such as him standing at stud, obviously at Coolmore Stud here in the Hunter Valley here in New South Wales, it must fill you with enormous pride.
Yeah, I think not just because of it was successful and we went to the very successful farm. In terms of the China Horse Club and the partners venture in the early days, within 5 years, I think we will be able to prove and convince to a lot of potential fence-sitter to come on and come in, and that's where we are right now. We are very fortunate to have very credible partners with us along the way all these years, and we are still with Coolmore, sending our stallions. We are with Winstar in the United States, and of course in Australia here, and Newgate and Henry Field and the team and our partner in Gavin. I think I'm going to say that we are very fortunate to have all the credible partners all these years.
And you have, of course, the Chase, your own property too, where you've been staying, of course, with Ivy, your wife, through the whole COVID thing for a few months now. It's a great thing, the way you're setting that up now, and you are taking in horses as, spellers or horses to agist as well.
The Chase itself took a couple of years, and this is our 6 years in operation. Only until this year, we think that the place are now a bit matured, and I think trainers have come and seen them. And so far, we have quite a good line of trainers sending their horses to spell over at the Chase. And we are very happy about that it's so close to Sydney. And also we use that place to rest as well from Singapore when you come here. And I think the horses, after the spell, they looks good. Really looks good.
What are you enjoying the most? I mean, you also have horses you've bred as well. What do you enjoy the most between, you obviously winning Golden Slippers is great, but siring those, having your stallions retire to start and the race fillies as well to produce the next generation. What really gives you the biggest buzz in the industry?
I think from a commercial angle, last year was a big surprise to us that we have a cell topper right in the midst of COVID.
Yes.
It was a really pleasant surprise. And this year, I think she's throwing out another very beautiful piece of art, I would call them.
Yes.
So all in, we are slowly evolving from not just racing and identifying all the elite broodmares that we had. Just for within the last 5 months, we produced 2 Group 1s in the United States from our broodmare band. And Kimari won the Group 1 2 days ago in the Madison States. So overall in Australia and also in Europe,
Yes.
we do have and consolidate our broodmare band. And we believe that the team behind this and the partnership, our band of broodmare will continue to produce a winner. And every one of them, the progeny are for sale. Our philosophy is that offer them reasonable price and let the market decide. And so far, I think the market has responded very positive to our philosophy. That if we really like our own, we go into the market and buy them back.
Yes.
Yeah, or try to buy them back.
If you can, that's
If
right,
I
yeah.
can, yeah. The idea of breeding is almost like going to school and learning all the arts and crafts. The biggest market that we would like to see opening up is, of course, China. And right now, when we enter in Australia, the industries, in 2013, there were only also a handful of people. But if you look at it now,
Yes.
right? You look at a big breeding farm in Melbourne and Victoria and Sydney. So we believe that the momentum will catch up. And in a couple of years, when the market open up, well, we're all ready, including our partners in Australia and America and even Europe, that we can collectively contribute and offer something, our know-how, into that country.
How do you think the wagering side? I mean, this is the big thing, isn't it, within China? Is there any easing of the attitude towards that?
Well, Chinese members and the punters are very aggressive. If you look at Hong Kong, if you look at Macau, they do participate actively. But if you look at their technological advancement in China, they are way ahead of many. They are using 5Gs. So we're talking about wagering. There must be a new way of the game that involve the latest technology developed in that part of the world. And currently we are also exploring how to put aside some of those concerns, the bad effect, and be able to use the technology to circumvent. And I think they are very open-minded. Some of the regional leadership are very open to ideas. And so this is currently the ongoing discussion. We're still sort of improving, and hopefully for the next couple of years, we have reached a level that we can then be able to really tackle the challenge from China. That's our ultimate goal, Caroline.